Tiffany here, and Brad with Years of Years, and it's this day in Disney for January 15th.
Boop. Hump day of the month.
Yeah, except, wait, is there 31 days in January?
I don't know. Always with the details this one.
Well, let's do the rhyme. No, just kidding. No, let's start off with heading to, well, we're just covering one thing today.
Just one thing.
Yep.
But it's a big thing.
It is a big thing.
A lovely
kind of
thing.
It right now.
A great, big, beautiful thing.
That's right. So back in 1975, on this day, Carousel of Progress opened up at Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World in Florida.
There you go. Where we love it and frequent it.
So obviously,
not just in rainstorms, but just for the enjoyment.
Yeah, that's right. We like it even when it's not raining.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, we especially liked it recently when it was freezing cold.
Yeah.
To warm up for a bit. But no, actually this attraction started at the 1964-65 World's Fair.
Of course.
Yes.
Talked about many times.
Yes, and then it was at Disneyland, and then in 1975 they brought it over to Walt Disney World.
Just a year before I was born, a year after you were born.
Yeah,
so just
exactly.
in time. We're so grateful.
Yes, and so interestingly enough though, when they brought it, it was different than the previous iterations. So they made some changes.
And these are very interesting changes.
They are. Well, first of all, I hadn't mentioned this to you, but instead of going clockwise, it runs counterclockwise. So that's first off. Then the song change. That's the biggest
This is the big one. This was a revelation.
Yeah, we
Perhaps
really,
you knew about it.
Who knows about this song? And did you hear it? The Sherman Brothers were asked really by GE to create a new song.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. They felt like the words led people to buy their products tomorrow and not of today.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of weird. Just
Yeah.
always put it off, you know?
Yeah. So
because something new is coming.
Yeah, so they wanted a different song, or
Yeah.
at least a different name to the song.
Yeah.
So they came up with The Best Time of Your Life.
Best time of your life.
Yeah, so that song is, you can go listen to it on YouTube. It's interesting. It's not bad. I mean, it's the Sherman Brothers.
Of course, how could it be bad?
They did great.
Yeah.
But it's not right for the ride. So
Yeah.
obviously they've brought back the original song. It's changed, but we'll talk about that later. They also had a cast of performers, a new cast. They actually this time told everybody what their name were. So Andrew Duggan was the father. So the first 3 acts had some cosmetic changes, but they were pretty much the same. The third act was the most interesting to us, which was
The
New
Christmas
Year's Eve.
season was actually, as she said, New
Year's
Year's Eve.
Right.
So it celebrated the passing of another year instead of the
interesting.
Christmas experience.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah, especially with the whole technology moving forward, we kind of thought, well, that wasn't such a bad idea.
No, it
That's
sounds
pretty
kind of
cool.
nice.
So it was New Year's Eve of the 1970s, and then they had to change the script in the 1980s for New Year's Eve for the 1980s, and then in the 90s.
Yeah, I guess maybe they
things
thought they
started
wouldn't
changing.
have to update it if they made it Christmas.
Yeah, the 90s they made it Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't know why they made it Christmas. I couldn't find that
Well,
out.
clearly not to have to update it because they have not updated it since then.
They have to some degree. So there was some really cool stuff, like, you know how there's the curtain? Well, there were screens in there that were doing this whole kaleidoscope thing.
Okay.
And they took those out and just put a silvery curtain with the GE logo, and now it's the Carousel of Progress.
So glad it's the Carousel logo and not the GE logo.
Well, they don't sponsor
of course,
anymore.
I'm just saying.
So in the 90s when the sponsor changed, then they could go, change some things, and they brought back the song. But it was different. It was like more updated. And I don't know if you've noticed when you're in the Carousel of Progress, but the song
it goes through periods, but at the end it does some pretty hard runs.
Well, each of the 4 has a totally different soundtrack.
Yeah.
And it's like
some different instrumentation.
Even the people singing sound like they're from that time period. Like,
that was a great baby.
And then it gradually gets more modern. So obviously we've been there many, many times, so enough to kind of notice the
we love
sound
every nuance.
Progression. So they've recorded a different thing for each one, and the last one has the amazing runs, and you can rock out, I guess, if you want to call it that.
No, they're
soulful runs at the end. You can really get into it and annoy all the other people sitting around you.
I don't really worry about them.
It's dark. They don't know.
No. I have a mask
I'm sure they do. The benefits of masks.
Who's singing? I don't know.
I don't know.
But speaking of that, speaking of 2020, I mean, in Carousel of Progress, one of the lines that bothers me every single time,
Which one?
Every single time, is when he's speaking about the rat race and how that's progress for you, like just driving and driving and driving for work, having the only 2 hours of your day like for recreation spent driving. I've never considered it private progress, and I don't think he does either. And 2020 really eliminated the rat race. I mean, everyone stays at home, works at home.
I think everybody slowed down too.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think so. I think it's a good
2020
thing.
year the rat race died.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because why? Why should you work yourself to death all the time?
Drive yourself to death. You can work all you want. But why should you be driving all the time?
In the traffic.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm sure there's still people that deal with that though. Yeah. But there's still the it's rough.
But it's easier even for them right now that do commute because there's less traffic on the road. 2020, just some of the blessings that we can cite.
But no, the Sherman Brothers and that song did come back. So, I mean, it's a great song and I think it makes sense. There hasn't been a ton of changes. Over the years, they've done some more technical changes that you wouldn't notice as much. And that last scene, the future scene, the Christmas scene, obviously there's stuff in there that we've surpassed.
VR technology. Well, I mean, just, in some ways, I'll be honest, this past year with like Oculus Quest coming out as a consumer product, like the two, I was thinking, wow, we are kind of experiencing this. So in some ways, maybe we're just catching up. And, visually and aesthetically, who knew where we were going to end up in fashion and in interior? Maybe that would be the version of the 90s that we're replicating today in our fashion. We just missed the mark.
I don't know. But I certainly don't talk to my oven.
I mean, the sweater on the boy is like a structure sweater, like a sweater that limited companies sold in the 90s like over and over. I mean, it's totally a 90s sweater.
For sure. Yeah. But I'm just saying, we don't talk to our ovens like that. And,
I don't talk to my oven at all. Not at all.
Well, it doesn't respond.
I mean, sometimes I'll
set temperatures for us. Maybe there are ovens that do that.
Come on, cook it already.
Are there ovens, though, that you can talk to? I think there are.
So. Certainly.
Just don't personally own one of those.
Not yet.
Not yet. But that whole turkey oven scene, I have so many thoughts about that.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Because the husband always gets, like, the brunt of that situation. But,
day.
the wife was made fun of in the
300 times a day.
The 3 other iterations she's made fun of, and then at the end he's made fun of.
Okay.
Come on.
There you go.
That's the only one that he's actually made fun of.
Oh, yes, you're right. No. You're so right. You are so right. I mean, right from the rumpus room all the way through. Everything is a joke on the wife.
Right.
Yeah.
The wash on the line and all that stuff. So, that's interesting. So, which one's your favorite? Like, which version do you like the most?
I gotta say I like the kitchen with the after the fuse boxes and the wires, so not in New York or wherever, but in the kitchen with the yellow, like the rounded seat that's set in
the fall one with the pumpkin.
Yeah, I love that one.
I like the first one. I love the Victorian era very much, and I feel like the appliances show themselves the best in that one.
How nice.
I really like
the
that.
Icebox and stuff.
Well, and that was really the point of the Carousel of Progress, was originally working with GE, they wanted you to see appliances and future appliances and what they could do. So,
and I like the 50s because it shows the introduction of leisure, which would have predated the 1964 World's Fair. I mean, so highlighting this modern leisure, I love that scene.
Yeah, it's fun.
We really can't talk about the Carousel of Progress this week without talking about rumors or news about Mr. Hanks taking over, our Tom Hanks, our own Woody, our own Mr. Disney, and finding Mr. Banks, you know.
Right.
So becoming a Disney institution, how do you guys feel about it? I mean, I don't know. That's a pretty big change. I mean,
it is a pretty big change. I'm wondering if they're just putting the feelers out because they're going to actually do a big ol' update. I can't imagine them just throwing his voice in. I think that would be odd. So I guess
if he talks about Mr. Disney and Mr. Disney's vision, like maybe if he's the one that introduces the Carousel of Progress, I could see updating that voice at the beginning or the end. Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be fine.
That would be good.
Yeah, but we're not sure what we think about it. Him replacing the father in particular, which I guess I assumed.
Yeah, maybe he's just the narrator.
Maybe just the narrator.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Tell us what you guys think in the comments. And Carousel of Progress. Do you guys like it? We love it.
Of course.
Yeah, it's one of our favorites. But that's it for this day.